Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video in this channel. I just wanted to talk about this game in particular, which is Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. I want to touch up on other Prince of Persia games and many more other games, but this one was a game that spoke to me, like, hey, pick me as a first video to do the thing that I really wanted to do. Especially since I want to talk about all the Prince of Persia games, and I'm planning to do so. But let's get right into Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. I played this game a few years back, but that was not my first experience with Prince of Persia. My first experience with the franchise was with Prince of Persia: Warrior Within, and a year after that I got in touch with The Two Thrones, which is the sequel to that, and the final game in the Sands of Time trilogy. I played both of those games back on the PlayStation 2, and I never actually got to play the Sands of Time when I was a kid, but only got to it a few years ago when I got it on PC through Ubisoft and played it on there. So my first experience with the game was a good one. I loved it, and I saw how it evolved into the games that I played as a kid and that I loved as a kid. But right now we're not here to talk about Warrior Within and The Two Thrones, but we're here for The Sands of Time in its own, and that's how we're going to do it. I loved this game when I first played it. There were a few things that I didn't quite enjoy, but I'll get into that in this video. It's still pretty fresh in my mind. Since I played it only a few days ago, I recorded my whole playthrough so I can have it as background footage. But hey, let's get right into the story. It's a short one and there are not that much plot points in this game, but they are good in my opinion. They're simple but effective tools to put you on your story, and how it's told is pretty good. So you start off as the prince, together with the Persian war fleet, going to invade a castle of the Maharaja, and in the meantime the prince is going through the vault and finds the Dagger of Time. This is a special dagger that uses the Sands of Time, so it can control time. In fact, with that dagger, the prince can turn back in time a bit. So when something bad happens, he can turn back time a bit. So he's on top of it. But yeah, that's a nice tool. But this is only the beginning. After a while, he goes out of the vault and gets back together with his father, the king of Persia. And he shows him the Dagger of Time that he found, and he gets to keep it. But there was the vizier wanting to have that dagger as a trophy because he was promised to get one of the treasures. So he wanted the dagger, but he was declined by the king of Persia. So he set his eyes on the Hourglass of Time, which he also got declined because the king wanted to give the hourglass as a gift to another nation. And so it goes. In giving the gift, the vizier tells the prince something about the hourglass and the function of the Dagger of Time with it. So the prince takes him up on his offer and pushes the dagger into the hourglass and sets free the Sands of Time. But in that event, the Sands of Time break free and turn everyone but the prince, one girl named Farah, and the vizier into sand monsters. After this, the prince has to find a way to make up for what he did and to catch or to turn back time so the Sands of Time were never released. This is the setting of this game, and I quite enjoy it. it feels unreal that what's happening. And all of this gets told as if he's telling the story to someone else. And that's one part that I really liked about this game. It is like he's telling it as a story to someone else, and he's like, yeah, I know you won't believe this, but this happened to me. And in the meantime, you are playing through that story. And I like that effect very, very much. Now you're asking, how was my experience playing this game again for this video? Well, overall it was pretty good, but there were some problems I had during this playthrough. I had a lot of camera issues, mainly during combat. During platforming sections I didn't have any problems with the camera, but during combat it was like in weird spaces, didn't control as well as I'd liked. But that was like only in the beginning of the game. During the game, somehow they got away. I don't know if I did anything else, did something wrong. I don't know. It's like fixed itself during the game. Other than that, there were a lot of like glitches where the prince like got thrown into the air during platforming. I like jumped somewhere and the prince went up in the air, and sometimes it made me die and made me get a game over. But those were like the biggest actually gameplay things that I had. There were some other issues. I, especially in the beginning of the game, had a lot of like speed ups and slowdowns with the game, but I fixed that by turning on VSync in the game. That made another problem I had. During the game, the whole time, during cutscenes, the audio was out of sync. I tried to resolve this during gameplay, but I never like fixed it for the Sands of Time. I think I know how to fix it for Warrior Within, but I'm not sure, so I'll see it when I'm playing that game for another video. But it was, for me, it was pretty important, and I hated it that, yeah, it was out of sync, but I got over it. Let's go over to the things I really loved about this game in particular. Some of these also are in the sequels, but there are also a few things that are only in this game for as far as I remember, at least. But yeah, I love the story. It's simple, but it does the job so well, in my opinion. Other than that, like how the game just feels. I love the feel of movement, especially during platforming, but also during combat. It's just, it feels amazing to jump over someone and down him in one swell move. Just take him, throw him away. I love that part of the game. I love both the platforming and the combat of this game, but there were a few powers that I never used during this playthrough that I know are in the game, but I just, like, for some reason couldn't figure them out, and I was too prideful to look them up, I guess. But yeah, I loved the abilities that I used. I did love. Other than the combat and the movement, there are a few things I really loved about this game, and they're small things in my opinion, but like when you go to the pillars of light where you could save, whenever you went into those for the first time, a vision like popped up and you saw bits and pieces of like the areas that you were going to go in, and like sometimes you saw bits of story elements, like bits and pieces, nothing much, but it was a nice touch and I loved it, and I hope they would have continued that during the next games, but yeah, they didn't. But they were amazing, and I was looking at them with a smile during my whole playthrough. Other than that, I just love the scenery. From the caves to the castle to the baths to the bird cage where you have to go in during part of the story. I loved it all. And other than that, like subtle details, I loved it so much. They were like all looking like they belonged, but were so varied. And yeah, I love the scenery in this game, especially also the next one. But I loved it so much. Other than that, a smaller detail is that during the game, the prince pulls off parts of his outfit, of his top, and it starts with one arm, then the other, and then like revealing his whole torso. And you see like the scars on his body. I like that. I loved how it is. It didn't feel weird. It just felt like, hey, this is cool. Yeah, it's something little, but I liked it. When I was playing it, it never felt over the top. But these were the things I absolutely loved in this game. There were a few things I didn't quite as enjoy. One of these is a thing that in my first playthrough, it disturbed me. I had less issues with it this playthrough, but it still was there, and yeah, I'm not a big fan of this aspect, but during combat you have to use the dagger to like kill and finish off most enemies. There are a few exceptions, but like most enemies you have to finish off with the dagger. This also made sure that if there were a lot of enemies, you could get hit while finishing off an enemy, and so the enemy revived if you took too long. I did not like this, but it's part of the game. I got over it during this playthrough, but it's still something that I really didn't enjoy, and I do hope they remove that aspect from the game for the remake that's coming out in 2026, hopefully. But I'm not sure. This was something I did not like. Other than that, there were two enemy types that I absolutely disliked during this playthrough. One was the freaking bats. I hate these bats with a passion. They didn't really give me game over screens or anything, but I just couldn't get over them. They were so annoying. I couldn't get rid of them. I just hated them, and I'm so glad that they're not in the next few games. But these can go to hell for all I care. Other than that is an enemy type that I didn't have any problems with on my first playthrough, but now I think they were glitched. Not really sure, but I think so, and that these are the bird enemies. The problem I had with those was whenever I hit them, they like went straight up in the air, so I couldn't hit them another time. So especially in the early game, I couldn't finish them off easily, and it took just way too long, and I grew some kind of resentment towards those birds. But yeah, those are the only three things I didn't really like about this game. There are a few things I only noticed during this playthrough. The fact that Farah, the girl at the boat that accompanies you throughout most of the game, I didn't know she could hit you. Like, it's stated in dialogue from, hey, whoa, watch out, you're gonna hit me. But I never noticed she could actually hit the prince. But it happened a few times during my playthrough now. And it was like, not something I liked or disliked. It was just like, whoa, I did not notice this. But the opposite is also true. She can hit you, but if you're not careful, you can also hit her. And I found that out the hard way. Luckily she didn't die, and I didn't have to start over that part. But yeah, I hit her a few times, and I did not notice until she was like one shot. And then, yeah, the other thing came by that I only noticed this time, and that was like, she can regenerate her health if she doesn't get hit for a while. I don't know the exact timing, but that was something I really didn't know before playing this for this playthrough, and it was a nice touch. I like to see that. But yeah, that was all for Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. What am I going to do for next video? I'm thinking of making next video about Prince of Persia: Warrior Within, also known as my favorite game in the franchise. It's the game that I played most back on PlayStation 2, but also on PC. But I want to make a video about all Prince of Persia games, like the ones from after the Sands of Time. So next one will probably be about Prince of Persia: Warrior Within, and after that probably the Two Thrones. But after that I want to make videos about the other Prince of Persia games, but also about other games like the Assassin's Creed games, or about God of War, or anything else. So if you want to see me talk about a certain game, please let me know down here in the comments below. If you want to know whenever the next video will come up, I'll post that on my Instagram. I'll try and keep you guys updated as most as possible through my Instagram, so drop me a follow there. But also, I'm intending to begin streaming in the near future. I'm in the process of setting things up on my Twitch channel, but you'll be able to find that link down in the description below, and feel free to follow me on there as well, so you get notified whenever I go live on Twitch. But also stay in touch on my Instagram. I'll always post on there whenever I'm doing something new. I'll post a story whenever I start streaming, every stream probably. But also the first time I start streaming, I'll make a post on there as an announcement on when the first stream is going to happen. So I'll see you there soon. But for now, I hope you enjoyed this video very much. If you did, feel free to leave a like and let me know how you liked it down here in the comments. Also, yeah, as I said before, let me know what you want to see more of on this channel, and share this video with your friends, I guess. Hope you liked it, and I hope you have a great day or night, or whenever you watch this. I hope you have a great time. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one. Bye.